What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about B3 today. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. Yes. We're down a little bit from the highs. Yes. Yeah, we've seen this coming. It shouldn't be by any surprise at all. The move that was a surprise was this move, how much it went up. But after so much downside, of course you would make a nice recovery on your first little bounce here, right? You went all the way up to your 382. Retrospectively, that's a very obvious place to stop. Retrospectively, right back here where you had prior areas of support, testing that as resistance. Yeah, it makes sense. What I will say doesn't make as much sense to me is that you've rejected from the 382 and now you're below the 236. Oftentimes, and not always, it's fine if you don't. I just want to make sure that I'm doing this right and that this is all, yes, it's all set up right. Okay, cool. Oftentimes you do hit the 382 and you find support at the 236, then you move up. But in moments like this, what I would expect is you go all the way back down to your 069, or worse, you could be set up for lower lows. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I don't think you'll see lower lows, man. I think B3, you're cruising, man. You'll be fine. It's all gravy, baby. Oh, maybe not. Oh, actually, I don't know. Maybe I'll eat those words. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so the reason why I took that back was I thought that you were up a lot higher from this. You know, I didn't know that you were down. What's Bitcoin at right now? This might help me out here. Let's see. Yeah, I don't want to say. We don't have evidence yet. The charts have not confirmed yet that this is the low. I'm pretty convinced that this is the low, but the one thing holding me back is I do believe Bitcoin's going to go to 72 to 73K, right? Somewhere, I say 72 to 73, but 73 to 72. That's an 11.4% drop. I would assume if B3 were to drop, it would drop more than 11.4%. An 11.4% drop would take it right here to 0.0055. And then if it were to, I don't know, double, which is a very possible thing, maybe you see something on the lines of a 22% drop. Maybe you could drop more than that and drop 30%. It's very possible. I want to see if we use B3 to Bitcoin. Let's actually compare that real quick. B3, BTC, do we have any charts? There's no charts. That's okay. We're going to make our chart right here. This is what we're going to do. For anybody using TradingView, I do this all the time and I nonchalantly do this, but in case you're not aware, if you type in a chart, you put a dash in it, you are literally basically making your own chart. Does that make sense? Bitcoin here, index, I click on that, B3 USD, I click on that, and then I press enter, and we get the B3 to Bitcoin chart, even though there's no B3 to Bitcoin chart yet. Or maybe there is, but it's just not available on TradingView. So this is B3 compared to Bitcoin, essentially, okay? If we look at this, what this will tell us is if B3 goes down versus Bitcoin, and where we might expect it to go down, or if it goes up, we could apply that to the price relative to what we expect from Bitcoin and from B3 and maybe get a better estimate as to where it'll go down to, right? To me, there's a couple of areas that would make a lot of sense. One, first and foremost, would be about right there at about half a cent. Now, I know, all the trolls are having fun whenever we were at these prices here, and I was saying we're going to go down, and then we were at these prices here, and we're going to go down, and then we were at these prices here, and I said we were going to go down, and I didn't buy. But this is why. This is why I don't chase on stuff like this, you guys. I don't chase on the first pump. I would rather buy on the dip than buy on the rip, right? Because the dip could have very well ended here, and that would have been a better opportunity to buy if it did end there. But the fact that we're down below the 236 really sets us up to move down about 18% from the current price. Okay, 18%. If not, maybe a double bottom, which would be a 26% drop. And if we were to see lower prices, we could see a 30% drop or more. It's very possible. So not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I don't know how low it's going to go. We're going to try to figure this out now. I just wanted to take a moment to be like, nana boo boo, all the trolls out there that were saying reverse C-Zar, inverse Kramer, or I guess actual Kramer. I don't know. Kramer is wildly successful, by the way. He's a household name, and he's kind of gone off the deep end recently. I don't think he's a good guy, but whatever. Who cares? Who cares about that stuff? We're talking about crypto, man. From a high to a low, same thing. 382 below your 236. Likely you go down. B3 versus Bitcoin. Uh-oh. Who could have seen that coming? We're probably going to go down. Let's see. Oh my God. 20%. I don't know, man. That would be bad. I mean, it's not like terrible, but you would definitely go below this low if that were to happen. Let's say you don't. Let's assume that you don't. Okay, I'm assuming here, and you know what assuming does sometimes, right? It can make an ass out of you and me. From the golden ratio, if you were to drop, that's an 8 to a 12% drop. So if you were to hit the golden ratio and find support there, which I'm going to say you have a very good chance that you could find support there. I want to see the 1 hour time frame. I don't know. It won't. That doesn't actually help too much. But yeah, let's say it drops 8%. If Bitcoin drops 11%, that would imply that B3 drops about 20%, 19%, something like that. And a 19% drop from here would take you right around to the 0.069 here at about half a cent. Okay, I could see that happening. That makes sense to me. If you were to drop more, though, we're looking at probably a double bottom or lower, right? Let's say you drop to the base of this range, because that's possible too. Maybe you drop to the base of the golden ratio range here to the 6.9 here, and you find support at these areas of support. Okay, I can see that. 12% versus Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 11%. What is that, like a 24, 25% drop? Hey, okay, double bottom. A double bottom could really happen with B3, and I have to admit, I'm feeling pretty damn confident that that's what you're going to do. You're going to give this all the way back, and how I would expect it to happen is it's probably going to happen pretty quick, right? Like from this same price here, it took you all this time to do. I think it's going to take you a lot less time to do. You might spend more time on the recovery. It might take more time to recover. Or you could V out of this. If you do V out of this, you're doing something what's called an atom and atom, right? Because you're getting the V here and the V there. Atom and atom patterns are some of the most bullish double bottom patterns. You're essentially getting like a double V recovery, and that's phenomenal, man. But I would expect that we do go down to about half a cent to 0.0045 cents. Now, if I'm wrong on that and we go lower, which we could go lower to the 786, 886. A lot of cryptos like doing that. Let's just assume at the lowest you drop to your 786, okay? You could go lower. Absolutely, you could. I don't think versus Bitcoin you'll see new lows. I don't think so. I think that is your Bitcoin low, but I am open to the idea that you could see new lows versus the US dollar. An 18% drop plus 11% drop right there, that'd be about a 30% drop overall, which isn't much lower past this, but you know, that would mean that you're going down to new all-time lows. And at which case, you know, it was a good idea to not get too hasty and buy the rips, right? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but you're supposed to buy the lows, not buy the highs, right? And a lot of people, and my own fans, people who are nice, good people who are not just trolls, right? People who are actually like, come on, man, just get in. You called the low, let's get in. You know, there are a lot of you who mean that in the best of ways, and I appreciate you. But this is why I didn't buy, because you never know. I'm the type of guy, and it might not have made as much sense while I was saying it, but moments like this really highlight why it makes sense. I'm the type of guy that would rather not buy here, but buy at the low of the retracement, buy at the low of the retracement, buy at the low wherever it might be. That's how I am, because one way or another we'll either find support at an area that you'd find support on a retracement or an area that you'd find support on the extension. I want to be very clear. If I had to guess where B3 is going to go, I would say I don't believe you see new all-time lows. I don't believe you do. Or if you do, it's going to be very barely below. Okay, I don't think it's going to be anything significant. I do believe you get very near this area, something around half a cent or lower, and you're at 0.006 cents now. So a little bit of a drop. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but that'll be a second chance for everybody. That'll be a good golden opportunity to get in. B3 is at a very low market cap here at about, I thought I saw 1.6, but that was Bitcoin, at 131 million. And wouldn't that be perfect? Right? What would, because 10% would be 13 million, 20% is 26 million. So you'd have to drop a little bit more than 20% to get to a $100 million market cap, which is psychological support. What else is that? Right, just over 24, right over 20%. What would that be? Right here at the lows, right over 20%, 26%. 22%, whatever. Not only is that psychological support at a $100 million market cap, right? Not only is it that, but it's also very significant support at the double bottom all-time low area. I'm really digging it, man. I don't think you stop at 0.005. I do very strongly believe you go below there. Okay, you'll have a second chance. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but man, let's see. I don't know if it's at a good price to buy, because again, right, I know it sounds crazy. This has never happened to me before, but I could be wrong. You know, it could just rip from here. I might be wrong. You never know. But if I'm right, there is a little bit ways to go. I wouldn't play the game, right? If you bought down here, if you bought up here, I would not sell here. Even if you anticipate the price to go lower, even if it was to go low, I wouldn't sell here. I would just look to buy more. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if you try to play the game now, you miss the selling point. Why sell now? You're almost done with the move. Don't even worry about it. But I do think that if you bought high or if you bought low and you feel like you wish you could have bought more, you're going to get that chance. I think that you will get that chance. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but do not buy the high. Do not sell the relative lows and don't sell these lows. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I think that it's a good idea to wait if you're looking to buy for things. This is what my opinion is. This is how I would do it. I wouldn't buy here. I would buy at lower prices. And if I'm wrong, and it goes up, where I throw the hammer down, if I was looking to buy this thing, is if we got a day to close above this daily high here. If you close above there, everything I've said is likely wrong. And let's actually validate that. Let's look for a way to invalidate this real quick. Low to high. Let's go. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, if you can get above, and what would that be on a daily basis? A little bit higher, okay? But even then, still, if you get above this daily high close, okay, I would accept you probably are moving up higher, but really technically above the 236. If you close any given day above 0072417, you have to close above it, not wick above it, but close above it. And technically, actually, it wouldn't be that number. It'd be 0072359. If you can do that before going to these lows that I'm talking about, I'm wrong. I'm invalidated. We're going higher. And if I was looking to buy this thing and I'm like, hoo-hoo, it's going here, or it's going here, or maybe even lower, I could buy down here. And I'm chomping at the bit to buy down at these areas. And the price, you see the day close up here, I would still buy confidently here. I would just throw the hammer down because then it's likely going to rip. You're likely going to see some nice expansion to the upside. I hope it's very clear as to what I'm expecting out of B3 here. And after it does find its low, I would expect, if things go the way I think they're going to go, okay, you've got this. Maybe it's an Eve and Adam. Maybe it's an Eve and Adam. Maybe it is an Adam and Adam. Who am I to judge, right? But whatever it is, maybe it's an Eve and Eve, right? The ladies can have their day too. But I would expect that this next phase up will take you not just to these highs, not just from the same lows, but to prices that are above there. If we look at this from a high to a low, your next stopping point would likely be the golden ratio or higher, which from the current price, let alone lower prices, is about an 80% to a 100% move. And these are prices that you'll likely see over the coming weeks by the end of March, let alone what's going to happen by the end of April. By the end of May, we're going to be at targets that are at 3.5 cents, 4.7 cents, maybe even higher than that, right? I think this thing has 10x potential from this price over the next 2 months, let alone from those lower prices, right? If you were to go all the way up here, to be completely fair, that's actually like 7.5x potential. But then here, that is over 10x. And I could really see you going here, even above these lines, which I don't normally call for you to go above the 200, but if you do, I could see you hitting 10 cents or around 10 cents as resistance, and that's about a 15x from the current price, let alone if you go lower and you form this Adam and Eve, Adam and Adam, Eve and Adam, whatever it is, Eve and Eve pattern, this double bottom pattern. It's very powerful setup and bullish setup to go off of. I've got nothing else to say. I hope it's understandable what I'm saying here. Hit the like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. And yeah, if you feel like you missed your chance on B3, I'm under the impression you will get another opportunity. Okay, bye-bye.